are just joining us on Facebook Live, I'm Lauren Van Hamer, RDU on stage, and I hope you're prepared to laugh because I think it's going to be funny tonight. um,
Oh.
Jackson Cooper is back and going to be interviewing Lisa Jolley. And before I turn it over to them, I want to do a shameless plug for tomorrow. Joss and Banks, who's an actor in Chicago and was on the national tour of Kinky Boots, he will be taking over our Instagram tomorrow, and then he'll be live chatting with me on Facebook at 8 p.m. So go to the RDU on Stage Instagram page and check us out tomorrow night. He'll be hosting Torn Chicago this week, so we'll get to kind of figure out what's happening in the Chicago theater community. But for tonight, Jackson, I'm going to turn it over to you. And as always, if you guys have any questions or comments, put them in the Facebook chat. And I will see you guys later.
Bye.
Great. I feel I wanted as a joke to get like a stack of James Lipton blue cards and just put them like right here in frame for you.
My friend Jeremy Carrigan used to write those blue cards.
Real at the
Yes.
actor studio.
Yes, he wrote that
What?
play. What was the play? We did improv together back in the olden times. He's a genius. He wrote what's the play that the fact checker, the thing that Daniel Radcliffe did with Bobby Cannavale. He wrote that play. That's his play.
Cripple, no, not Cripple, Cripple Ishman. I don't remember. I know what you're talking about.
A fact. What is the fact? Lifespan of a fact.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Very short run. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, but still, no, Jeremy.
Still.
He used to write the
That's
blue
amazing.
cards.
That's
Thanks.
amazing. I didn't know
Right?
that. I wish he would have written yours for mine, but I'll do my best.
I'm good.
So you're 1 year old. What's 1 year old? No, we're not going to do that.
I don't even remember. All I remember is like, what's your favorite swear word?
Yeah, right.
It's,
Oh no, I knew those by heart. We can do those
Of course.
we'll do those at the
and
end.
Bradley Cooper was in the audience because he was a
Yeah.
student.
Like asking Bob De Niro these really like obscure questions about awakenings, and even De Niro's like, "What?" Yeah. No, we can do the Proust questionnaire. We can do the Proust questionnaire after this. So yeah, let's do that to end it.
Okay.
Okay. So I wanted to start with, I was listening to a podcast with Catherine O'Hara, who I adore.
I just watched Three Schitt's Creeks.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I was just listening to a podcast today of her, and I was like, it's very fitting I'm talking to you because I've always thought of you as Catherine O'Hara. Like, really, I was like, you are as close to Catherine O'Hara as we have. And
Stop it.
And she talked about how like comedy and impressions and improv and acting all came from her being a part of a big family. Was that how it was for you, or like was it part of your family? What was it like?
Oh wow.
Or where did it come from? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I remember sneaking downstairs when I was very, very young, very little, and my mom was like, alone in the dark watching season 1 of SNL.
Oh, okay.
Laughing and just, it was always, we saw Steve Martin at the Allentown Fair, like doing stand-up when he was really young. Like we really did gravitate toward comedy.
Yeah, you're like, boy, I hope that guy's doing well right now. I hope he's doing okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he did okay. This was back in the day with the rabbit ears and the banjo and the white suit, and it was and we watched SCTV, which was my favorite. And
so you were first SNL, and then because SCTV came on later, it didn't come into the States for a while, right?
80s,
right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And were you more attracted to, like, what did you like about SCT? Because there's that sense of community that I think sometimes SNL doesn't have. that I think attracts people to SCT TV, and then you learn that it's all improvisers, and you're like, oh, that's why.
Oh
kind of
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Second City TV, they were all together as a unit,
Right.
almost pretty much that same group as they went along. It was really that, that group that, and when you improvise with people on a regular basis, you can't help it, because you have to trust them and they have to trust you. So it really, it cements your relationship. And SNL has, it has more stand-ups, it has more sketch players. They come from all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, even Mad TV had a lot of improvisers, but West Coast improvisers like iOS and the Groundlings.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
was your you talked about Steve Martin, was your brand of comedy first stand-up, or did you recognize like sketch comedy as sort of your first
I do remember taking the tape recorder like next to the TV, and I would tape all of Gilda Radner's stuff. And I did Rosanna Dana for our 6th grade talent show in middle school. And I came in third. I came in third, but everybody still remembers it. I go back to my hometown, my Stroudsburg, PA, my little burg. They still remember my 6th grade routine. And I got to meet her actually, Gilda, because she married my neighbor. Her first husband was my neighbor, G.E. Smith. Neighbor like grew up with the guitarist G.E. Smith, who used to play with SNL, and then also for Hall & Oates and the Dan Hartman band, because I know that instant replay. But anyway, it was a big deal because my neighbor, we were all friends and everything. You have to come over. Gilda's here. What? And I go, it's speechless. I was like, oh my God, I love you. Yeah. Just because I really identified with her.
Like trying to not to touch her too much. Yeah.
It was a big, huge deal for me. But no, and I used to record. I have Pee Wee's Playhouse, his show in LA.
The original one, the one they did after hours. Yeah.
And I memorized it. Still have it memorized. I mean, I didn't know improv existed until I was in college. I didn't know really.
So I was gonna say, so like it sounds like Pennsylvania, where you were growing up, it was very much like SNL and stand-up comedy. But that was mostly it.
But I had the Broadway thing too, so that was always running neck and neck with that. So because my mom was from Brooklyn and my whole side of the family was from Brooklyn, and we would just go in and see shows all the time. It's an hour and a half outside New York City, so
were you more moved by actresses or comedic actresses when you watched that? Like, were there, like when you or was it just the entire thing of watching the Broadway show and going like, I want to do this one day?
The entire thing. I was picked by Doug Henning to go on stage in the magic show when I was in 4th grade. We had really good seats, and it was a Wednesday matinee, and I think we even missed school for it because I will never forget it. It's like, volunteer from the audience, and it was me, and I got to help with a trick, and so I got to stand on a Broadway stage, and it was just, I was shaking, and it was the best thing. It changed me completely. It was a huge deal.
I mean, we'll come back to that because I want to come back to that when you get on Broadway. Spoiler alert. But I mean, talking about the Gilda thing, I mean, what was it about her that you saw? Because it's, rewatching her stuff, and even like the old SCTVs and Catherine O'Hara and like Andrea Martin and things like that, it's like, they're kind of just playing insane. It's like, it's sometimes with comedy there's this, or not insane, but it's this absurdity that's so grounded in the truth of the scene, of course, which is what sketch and improv is, but it's, I mean, they were so out there for their time, that, and it's brilliant. Like even today it's still brilliant. I mean, what was it about like Gilda and like that drew you to her?
They just were never afraid to look silly. And look, not, they didn't have to play the pretty girl and and
Or if
just,
they did, it was the pretty girl who,
who was very flawed.
yeah. Yeah.
It's so much more fun to be the pretty girl's friend who has some kind of issue
Right.
with the pretty girl. It's so much more fun to do. There's more life there. It's really I love them because they got to be quirky, and I was quirky, and I saw myself.
Yeah.
You know?
So improv came when you went to college. What? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Because I was at CCM, Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati College Conservatory of Music, and I originally went there for music education.
Okay.
I didn't even.
And what was that decision? Because was that you wanted to teach singing or teach Broadway or?
Define want to. Define want. No. I love it.
Or will the economy let me be an actor with this degree?
It wasn't even a question. I didn't even occur to me that you could go to school for performance.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I know, and part of me was so unsheltered. We'd go to New York all the time. Everything.
Right.
Part of me was all I wanted to do was just go and get my degree in music ed and be a vocal teacher and direct show choirs till the day I died.
That was your original dream.
It was all show choir.
Yeah.
I used to go to Fred Waring choral workshops and Fred Waring choreography workshops to come back to my school and teach my show choir everything that we were going to do.
Yeah,
and
right. That's going to win.
And
We're going to win. We're going to win.
And we did. We were so good.
Yeah.
It was a very competitive school. So I was in every band and every band competition. And I was in every, district, regional chorus, all this stuff. I was just like, let me take my art and be better than this guy. It's terrible. But all I wanted to do was show choir. And then I got to CCM and I saw this whole world of the musical theater department, and I was absolutely blown away.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it because they performed for our orientation. And there's this whole professional theater that they have during the summer. It was called Hot Summer Nights. Yeah. I still have it on my page. Anyway. Sorry. Blank.
No, it's okay. That's all good. All good.
And no, they did some numbers from the shows they were doing. They were doing Hollywood Ukraine, which nobody does. Which I love
so good. So good.
Much.
So good.
And it was
so good.
Genius. And they did all this, and it was just like, I want to do this. So I stayed in my major for a year and a half, and I was friends with all of the musical theater kids. I lied my way into acting one. Okay. I said I was an opera major, and I still had to audition for the class, and I got in, and they thought I was just an opera major. And so that way, when I eventually did audition for the musical theater program, and I got in, and so then I could continue with my class.
Right.
So as
do you remember your audition song? Do you remember your audition song?
Yeah. I did. I'm Just Wild About Harry.
Yeah.
Because nobody did it. And I did Funny from Funny from Funny Lady, the movie.
Yes.
Funny, honey.
Yeah.
Because it was my life. Because it was exactly my life. Yeah. That's what I did.
So,
and the dance call, which is and still is insane.
Oh yeah, they pick the hardest thing.
They make you earn it.
They make you earn it. They do the 7/4 time signature from Evita, and they're like, if you don't get it, then sorry.
Cross the floor. Groups of 4.
Oh, you don't know how to tap? I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
You gotta do everything.
Yeah. How was that? Was it as intense as music education? Because music, but your competitive streak must have kicked in more, because now you're like, you're in a group of people, a class of people, and you're just like, no, I'm going to, I'm going to go
but
and do
you're
this.
not really competing against them.
Yeah.
Once you're in, you're really competing against yourself and how much you can improve and how much you can just shut up and listen and take in what they're saying.
Was that easy for you, or did you have that?
Not at first.
Yeah.
I had, you learn. That's what it's for. And especially in a class situation, class of 2020, you see it's
right.
These heads of theater departments are casting a season, also many seasons. They're seeing who, and who's going to play well with others and who is represented and who isn't, and who, hopefully,
yeah.
hopefully, but you kind of see where you fit, and you see how everybody else is improving. Because there, I am not sure about every other school, but we had to do these, like juries. These are called boards, and you did 2 a year.
Yeah.
For an audience.
So they weren't just for your faculty.
No, I used to watch everyone and see, like, okay, who passes, who fails, why. It was, and it was very clear. It was very clear. If you're primarily a dancer, you do not pick Johnny One Note to sing.
Right.
You can't hold that note. And the song is about
holding the note.
It's about breath control, which you do not have. Shh, shh,
right.
Dance for us.
Yeah.
Dance.
Do a tap number. Yeah, come on. Do it.
And this girl
know your strengths and do it. And yeah.
That is part of it. That is part of choosing your own songs. What did you pick? How did you cast yourself? And especially if we're used to seeing one thing from you, change the color. Right. Do something different in your second song. Take a risk. And that was very clear. I knew exactly where I fit and exactly what I had to do to show them a stretch. So I would make them really laugh in one song, and I would make it my business to make them cry. And I did it 8 times.
I love that you had that, because I mean, I feel like younger actors and people in programs like don't, but I'm just saying that's something you can't teach, that sort of self-reflection and the, making sure that you, number one, don't take yourself too seriously, so that you can step back and look at yourself and what you can improve on, and you're getting better. But in a program, not feeling like Broadway is just these 5 songs, or it is just Wicked, or all this stuff. Whereas, because it's funny, because it's like musical theater. It's like there's a whole century of songs out there. So if you can't do Defying Gravity, don't do Defying Gravity.
Right.
And but maybe you're better suited to do a Rodgers and Hammerstein, but sometimes that's challenging for people. So was that just in your nature? Did you see a lot of people struggling with that and maybe not get over it?
Well, we didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
We didn't have the internet. We
or 54 Below or any of that stuff.
54 Below. We couldn't compare ourselves to anybody. You only had what you were seeing and the sheet music you were able to get a hold of.
Yeah.
There was no such thing as a PDF. That just didn't exist. It didn't exist. There was no email. I'm old, Jackson Cooper.
Yeah.
So
there were sheet music stores, right? Yeah. Didn't you have to
I had to wait till I was on break, go to Colony, or go to the Lincoln Center Library. But luckily, at a conservatory, I would go on the weekends. Not much of a social life here. It's okay. But I would go and get the hardcover scores and check out 10 of them and go up to the practice room and just lock myself in.
Yeah.
And luckily I can play the piano. I think everybody should be able to read music.
Absolutely.
Or
at least chords. Yeah.
At least
absolutely.
Just to see
chords.
What, there were songs I learned up there that I still why, there's it's like is it a Burton Lane one? Feuding and fussing and fighting.
Oh yeah, that's Burton Lane. Yeah,
but I was like da, 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 and I just remember, and I sing it all the time, and nobody knows. Neighbors down by the neighbors next week. It's a terrible song, and it's awesome, and I only know it because I'm going to take this. Oh, what's this show? I don't know. I'll go plunk it out on the piano and see what it is.
Yeah.
And I had, I just listened to everything, and I just, yeah. It's like, okay,
I love
we
that
also
you had
didn't-
that.
yeah.
I love that you had that curiosity to say, okay, I don't know this show, but let's just play this through and hear what it sounds like, because there is it's the accessibility of the internet and stuff where it's like, oh, I don't know that show, I'm not gonna, then
listen to it.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is press play. It's like,
Yeah.
that's it. And you can hear the whole thing whenever you want to. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
And so then there's also no excuse.
Mhm.
Like, oh,
yeah.
I didn't know
if
that,
you don't
and I
know
didn't-
something or don't, know where that fits into the rest of the score and things like that. Yeah.
There is no not knowing. There's no,
Yeah.
we had to wonder stuff. Oh, I wonder this. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll know that. What to do when you go about your business. Like,
Or
I wonder
listen to a song and say, this
Now I
sounds
know.
sad. So I assume that at this point in the show, like something happened. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's how you hone your instincts too. Like, I bet this is an act one closer. Absolutely. Okay.
Mhm.
And you just
Right.
get to know like the rhythm of that, and we also didn't have showcases when I was in school. So it was never a guarantee like, oh, we're going to graduate and this is our class. We're going to get our picture taken together.
Right.
We never had like photos taken as a class.
Yeah.
Never. At that
Go up to
school,
New York, perform in the black box. Yeah.
we didn't learn a thing about that. We learned how to do it so that when we got to New York, we were good,
Yeah.
But we didn't learn how to, oops, now I'm here with my suitcases.
Right. Yeah. $3,
What do I
2
do?
bags, 1
Right.
me. Yeah. Right. Because CCM has has a good reputation. It's like Elon, it's like Point Park, where people come out and they work in the industry
Immediately. Yeah.
But they do the work, they put in their ensembles, they work the summer stocks, they work this because they know how to, because you're trained how to. Did you feel confident coming out and being like, I'm moving to New York and going to do this because of them?
Kind of. Well, I had my equity card before I graduated.
Mm-hmm.
So that was blessing and a curse. I'm really happy I got it. I was really happy I got it. And I got it doing nonsense at Maine State Music Theater.
Yeah.
And it was the best summer ever as an intern. And then, I was like, I have to get in this show. I have to get cast because it's a 6-person show, and that because it's so few people in the show, everyone has to be union. And so I'm auditioning against my fellow interns who we've all, been living in this frat house in Maine together.
Yeah.
And out came the,
Yeah. I'm doing
please,
it.
I want to wear a habit in the middle of the summer. Please.
Yeah, right. And belt out, yeah.
But it was really fun.
Play the piano and
It was great. Right. It was just great. But so it was nice to already be equity when I graduated. So that helped a lot. It just didn't even I'm going to New York because I can audition for everything and not have to wait in the other side of the second floor equity lounge
for 8 hours or something. Until they hopefully call you. Yeah. So I want to get back. Yeah. I want to get back to improv later, but since we're on New York, because you were in New York, what years?
90. Yep.
Okay.
90 to 2007.
So that was
2008.
So
2008.
Yeah. So what were your initial just observations of the theater scene then? Because that was Rent time. That was, the changing grunge movement off Broadway really coming up kind of thing.
Yeah.
Post Sunday in the Park with George, all this, let's just, theater is now with the capital T, and it's a whole new strange thing. I mean, and your love of old Broadway and classic Hollywood and stuff. I mean, what was it like going to New York and seeing this new Broadway that was unlike what you had grown up with?
It was awesome. I mean, my first sublet was across the street from the boot hanging over the Martin Beck Theater for Into the Woods.
Yeah.
So my window looked out on the Giants boot. It was the coolest thing. Like, this is fine.
Yeah, you're like, this is New York. This is New York.
Yeah. And it was possible to live in the neighborhood. I lived in Hell's Kitchen for a really long time.
Right.
But it was great because there were so many auditions, and I didn't have an agent then. And, most of the people that I met, we would all be at the same auditions, at the same calls.
Yeah.
And it was great. And you didn't know it was great at the time. Sometimes I would stop and go like, I'm really doing this. I'm in the city and I'm
I'm in it. I'm in it. Yeah.
I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do, and I'm doing it. I have my headshots, I have my resumes, I have my little,
You have your book.
And,
you're all good with your book.
I have my restaurant jab.
Right.
No, it was.
And what was your first job? What was your first job?
In New York, my first job was a TheaterWorks USA tour of Harriet the Spy. And so I was out on the road for 3 to 6 months. I don't even remember. Was it 6 months or 3? I mean, this is TYA. This is Theater for Young Audience. And it was great. And it was, we played really big, humongous, real theaters in the morning.
Yeah.
And then the
at
big
8 a.m. Yeah.
At night. So that's what we did, but it was a great first real job. It was a perfect first real job.
Yeah.
So
and did you like touring? Did you like touring, seeing
Oh,
the world or seeing America?
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was really because you're just with these 6 people and you're set in a van. And you're set. You get out, you have to put together.
Right. You assemble it, all that. Yeah.
But it was so much fun. And I have, I still have really good friends from that experience. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And back then, like the composers that did that then are pretty huge now. And it's really very great. I think this may have been David Crane and Marta Kaufman.
Okay.
I think possible. Like it's kind of big. Like it was nuts to like, oh, they bought our show. I guess we're doing it.
Right.
Yeah. That was super fun.
And then you get back to New York and you're continuing to audition and
that's when I started class.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's when I started. Thank you. Everything is a quote from an album. It's so sad.
That's when I started class.
That's when I started class. Another one for Snapchat Broadway.
Oh, that's a great song. Sorry, that's such a great song.
I saw that too, way up in the balcony. But that's when I started taking improv. Was when I got back from that.
Okay, so your improv days started in college. What was that? Was that during or you were introduced to it?
You did a workshop. They came and did a performance in a workshop, and I cannot even tell. I'm like this. Oh, they're making it up. Oh my God. It was just, I can't even, my heart jumped out of my chest.
Yeah.
I'm already a musical theater major here, and this is possible too?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And
the world of possibilities that is that. Yeah. Yeah.
It was
because
really
it's exciting because it either taps into people who are like, or actors who are like, I just want to, I want to explore this entire imagination of circumstances that I can create, or people are like, I'm lazy, I don't want to memorize lines in a play, so improv is great, Yeah.
It's
both. One or the other. It is. It's one both. Or the other. Yeah. So I had compiled, I thought this would be fun. I had compiled the list of the most answered Google questions about improv. So I was wondering if you could maybe help answer it in your own way. I thought this would be fun. Number 1, is improv always comedy?
No, because it's improv. How do you know?
Yeah.
That's a really fast no, so it must be true.
It must be true. Why should actors study improv?
Because here's my little epiphany for when I teach when I teach acting, when I teach musical theater, which is really the same, or it should be, your characters are improvising.
Mhm.
They don't know they don't think that they're speaking lines that were written. If you're doing it well, your scripted play seems like it's all made up on the spot.
Exactly. And it should seem like it from the audience too. That naturalism. Yeah.
So, they don't know. Just like, I dare you to tap Sweeney Todd on the shoulder during Pretty Women and say, just let you know you're singing a song.
Singing about, I'm doing
like,
what?
You think he's singing? They don't know they're singing.
Yeah.
So if anything, just take improv so that you can listen to your instincts on stage rather than don't say your line just because it's next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
that's the thing. I think actors sometimes, because I remember in acting school, like it was always your training built you to a place where the spontaneity of the lines was what you needed to achieve, where it was this naturalism, it was this, it came out of nowhere, and I was so living under my set of imaginary circumstances that the lines just came to me. But then when you do improv, it's like that's where you start. You start with the set of imaginary circumstances and you go there, but you're sort of building that world as an actor. But it should kind of be, you should start as an actor as if you're an improviser, because then you kind of can get the rhythm of a scene and where it builds and all that. Yeah.
But you're also looking into your scene partner's eyes.
Yeah.
And you're responding to them, to their behavior. And your character has behavior. It's not just reacting behavior as a person, because you're playing a person. And so when you just look at your scene partner, I know what, there was a, I don't know, there was a line in Sylvia.
Yeah.
Because I use it in every class. So it's a gift, really. But the line, and it was early on, we're just doing some read-throughs, and my scene partner's line was, I was playing Sylvia, my scene partner's line was, "Down, Sylvia, down." And he said it, but I hadn't gotten up yet.
Oh.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
You must trust me enough to know that I know your line. I know you have to tell me to get down. So you have to trust me enough. I trust you to not say it until I'm up. Make it make sense. You shouldn't say it because it's next in the book. You should say it because I got up.
Yeah.
And that comes from fear of making a mistake, fear of looking like you made a mistake, fear of letting something, oh, it's my line, I got to say it. Wait.
Yeah. Or silence, like we can't have silence. Yeah.
I love silence.
Well,
as I get older, I love it more. I don't know why. But just, you know what? I'm busy. I'll get up. And when I get up, I will have earned that, because I'm going to get down as soon as it's going to be better.
Yeah. Well, and improv is all about, it is the yes and, it is the listening, but it is also the let's earn this moment. Let's earn this, let's earn this thing. Like I love, we were talking about earlier, when we were talking about Middleditch and Schwartz, where it's like, it's great watching it because you see the things that they like in real time. You can see their brain going like, okay, we haven't earned that moment yet, but we will come back, or we'll bring it back, or it will just go away. And it is a very kind of calculated thing, but it's so quick that it's instinctual. But I think people get in their heads too much about, no, wait, that doesn't make sense to the thing. And it's like, well, just because it doesn't make sense now doesn't mean we can't bring it back later.
Right. They're playing the game, what is called the game of the scene. And, where you have this established reality, this base reality, and then there's one thing that is, the unusual thing that happens.
Right.
And that's what you jump on. And if you have any sense of structure, scene structure, and then overall arc for your evening, for your, not just your scene, but your hour, you
Right.
know that you have time because you're going to bring it back. You have to go to kind of a reset where everything's kind of okay. And then that game comes back and then another reset. The audience is riding this with you.
Yeah.
And you are riding it too, because your scene partner knows the dips and the beats that have to happen.
Yeah.
And it's when that comes together and it ends in a nice bow and they're like, how did you come back to that?
Yeah.
Because I know where it's going. Middleditch and Schwartz, yes, Netflix, because and that's awesome. But if you can search out TJ and Dave, watch them.
Yeah.
They're just phenomenal.
Well, and even watching like the ASCAT improv, like with Amy Poehler and Tina Fey, it's like you see stuff like that and callbacks and such. But and it's just great. It's just great to see that. And when it works, kind of like the Middleditch and Schwartz and such, it's like you're with a lot of friends, and like someone's calling back to a joke and you're in it, but everyone's so you're like, I remember that. Yeah, it's this like, oh my god, so great. You did that, and it's such an exhilarating thing to be a part of, where you're just like, you're all in it, and it's like that's what that is. Yes, that is what improv is, but that is also what acting should be, where it's like you're like, oh, I'm in it, like that's I'm there. It's great,
and you're a part of it, and you're very very important part of it. But that's why I after a while. Oh God, I don't even know where we are in the conversation, but musical improv. That's why musical improv is so important to me, because it really it connects both my worlds. Yeah,
and that's. Did you find that initially challenging, or was it just such an easy fit because you had been doing it?
Yeah, I was already a musician, so I know where the chord's going. I know where the chord structure should go. I know what a 5 chord is. I know in the melody, I know what we're doing here. And so I already have this background, this major background, and now I'm an improviser also, like, oh, this is fine. And then it was a no-brainer to do musical improv and to teach it.
The next question is, what if a suggestion is not good?
No such thing. I mean, you can. I mean, I've done improv in enough places and countries and states. I have gotten every suggestion, and it depends which one of you is emceeing that particular scene that getting the gets. It's when you're doing solo improv, it's just you, but there's a workaround. There is a workaround. But a lot of times people are gonna call yourself, look how funny I was, and then the next day they're at the water cooler, so they ask for a suggestion, right? So I say,
I said spaghetti when they said think about something you're looking forward to, and you're like,
and they'll say bathroom, they'll say whatever, but it's how do you take that suggestion? How do you not fall down there where they want you to go? And if you get a really nasty suggestion, toilet something, then you have to find a way in that split second to elevate it and turn the tables. And it's a great challenge. There's no such thing as a bad suggestion. If you even tell them it's a bad suggestion, they won't want to come back.
Oh, you lose them all immediately. I don't want to lose them. I want to take it and
play it at the top of my intelligence, clean it up, spiff it up there. Any more suggestions? I didn't think so. You know what I mean? Are we done? So but most audiences are great.
Well, and I feel like, would you agree for the most part, like improv audiences, they know the drill. Like they're not, they know they know the drill when it comes to suggesting things. I mean, for the most part, of course.
But you kind of take them through it. You'll say, kind of a suggestion of a non-geographical location, because otherwise they'll go like, Europe. Like, well,
Yeah,
where
right.
in Europe? Let's
Yeah,
where?
right,
It's
right.
a
Take
non-geographical.
that down.
Yeah, and when I have
Well,
my,
and like, well, and
my
like
kid students
acting.
perform,
Yeah, right,
they'll say any place other than a bathroom.
right.
They'll say
Yeah,
that, the kids all want to do, they can't wait.
yeah, bathroom jokes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like acting, you set those rules up so that the audience and you can go together on this wherever this goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
To the bathroom. Yeah. And okay, last question about the most Google searched was what is a good improv show?
Something where everybody makes everybody else look good. Where everybody comes off stage going, thanks for having my back. Where everyone's ideas are respected and listened to and used, and nothing gets dropped. Sometimes an idea will get dropped or somebody will get denied, and it feels crappy, and it's just not the way to play. Something where where you don't spend the rest of your night going, I could have said that.
Yeah. Or like,
I
didn't
that.
like Jill said this and I could have picked that up with
That would be, but that's rare because there's always something else you could have done. But that's what's fun about it. With a play, with scripted theater, you have this luxury of knowing when you enter, knowing when you leave, knowing when somebody else enters, who it's going to be, what you're going to wear, what you're going to say, what you're going to hold in your hand. That's like, so that should actually be kind of easy.
Right.
Come on, you're handed all this stuff. Just make me believe it, So that's why I really, I like doing both. And you can always tell, Michael Shannon is an amazing improviser, and that makes him such a great actor.
Yeah.
I love him. He's a big improv dude.
I just heard an interview where someone was talking about how he was on, I think, At Home with Amy Sedaris or something like that.
Oh my God. Have you seen him on it?
Yes. And he's so good. But they were saying that like, he was such like, they let him improvise and then he was so good.
She's in the thing. She's in the elevator in the kitchen. That show. And especially living here, watching that show. Because my husband will be like, I know every single thing she mentions is so specific.
The research triangle theater and things like that. Yeah. But no, I remember hearing an interview. I might have been with Paul Dinello or somebody who was saying that, or it might have been her that just said, he was just such an amazing improviser, and they're like, but it's Michael Shannon. He's a serious actor and all this stuff, and he was brilliant. He's good. He's just brilliant, doing that. Yeah, I love it. And it's important for actors because there is that, I don't know if it's taught anymore, but I remember it's like, if someone forgets a line, you have to be like, on
and it's not that big a deal. If you're playing, and this is what I say to my littles when I teach them original, initially it was like, have you ever seen anybody make a mistake on stage? And they're like, like, how do you know? Because their faces, because they're like, So if you're playing the maid, this is all for free. If you're playing the maid and you come in and your one job is to bring the tea and the sugar falls off the tray, but you weren't blocked to pick up, to do anything but bring in, what do you do? Because I would be the kid in the audience going, when's she gonna pick it up?
What's she gonna do? Yeah.
And then I'd wake up in the middle like, Mom, she never picked it up. What happened? Go to sleep. Back up to that.
Yeah.
What kind of maid are you? Who are you playing? Do you want to keep your job?
Right.
Pick up the damn sugar.
Yeah.
Pick it up. Also, somebody could trip on it. Be smart, but what would you do? You're playing a person who has this job.
Right.
You'd pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are those are the circumstances. And it's like, if you know those circumstances, again, as an actor, as an improviser, it'd be easy. It's like, I'm just gonna do this and we resume, or we keep going and now things are different. But as an actor, if you're like, that wasn't in the original script or what the playwright intended, it's
which I love. And the thing is, like,
absolutely.
I love those parameters. Okay, so how can I make this feel improvised while keeping with all of these parameters?
Yeah.
And still saying in period, or
Right.
saying, you know, and
not make in tone, not making it funny, making it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's amazing what happens when we put lines in front of somebody or lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all the wonderful natural stuff kind of drains away, and now we do this. I'm like, no, come back. The blood drains.
Yeah.
And especially with book scenes in musicals.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
All of a sudden, we don't know how to do it. And I say we,
it's
but
true. No, but it's true.
A
It is
lot
true.
of musicals that I see and have seen.
It's very true.
They spend all of the rehearsal time on the numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. Because now we get to these scenes and nobody knows how to get a laugh, or how to hold a laugh, or how to wait, or they're all walking on their laugh line, and all the operative word is a thing of just, but I went to the store. Like, what in the no. And it makes me crazy. And then I'm again at night, like, sugar and say the right operative word. Honey, go to sleep. I can't.
I can't.
The book is important too, but the book. Nobody cares about the book. The book is so important.
Yeah, I don't want to see another Sally Bowles go like you should write for film, with Cliff.
I mean,
so
it's
hard,
just
you're right. But you're right. I mean, we're laughing because it's like you're right. It's like it's all part of one thing, It's all, but people do say like, cabaret is just my songs and it's mine hair and it's money and it's cabaret and I'm done, and Nazis show up and you're like, it's not like.
Yep. There's I Am a Camera, John Van Druten, and but all that stuff needs to be taught carefully.
Yes. Yeah, carefully. That was good.
What else, Jackson?
Well, no. That was it for those questions. But I do want to talk. Speaking of Broadway, I want to, because actually this is a good segue, because female authority figure in Hairspray are all kind of improv characters, or characters you would see at like UCB or Second City or all this stuff, and they are vignettes, so it probably was easy to be like, I'm just playing this scene, I'm playing this. What was that sort of bigger hierarchical, like did you have this sort of bigger hierarchical like arc to all of them, or were you just like, I'm gonna come in, do my scene, great, and then Dodgeball Lady, which is still my favorite of your characterizations, was Dodgeball Lady.
Thanks. Did you see it? Did you see a bootleg?
No, I saw it when you did it at NCT.
Oh, here, yes.
Yeah,
it was a little different. It was a little different here. It was different. Yes, it was different here than it was on Broadway. But
there are bootlegs, by the way, all you out there watching. There are bootlegs of Lisa Jolley in Hairspray on Broadway. Yes,
there are.
I did see your Dodgeball Lady bootleg, I think, for one of them. Yeah.
Was it one of those? Because they do compilations, like whoever's played it. And they go one after the other.
I think it was like a act. Was that an act 2? I think, or I think that's act 2. But I remember watching it and I was like, "There's Lisa Jolley. There's Lisa Jolley." Yeah.
It's act 1. It's definitely act 1.
It's act 1. Okay. Yeah.
I think so. It's right before 60s. And right after 60s.
But what was that like playing that because it's female authority figure, but you're playing all these characters within it. I mean,
it's great. It's like your own little repertory company. Well, because I remember seeing it. I saw original cast, and it was Jackie Hoffman, who came out of Second City. She's an improviser.
Yeah.
So, hello. And I just remember seeing it. It's like, that's my role. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was shaking. I was like, that's it. That's my role.
Yeah.
That's it. Yay. And 2 people down, that was my role. So yeah. But no, they really and they want you to just take over. They want you to just like do what you do, as long as you make us laugh in this.
Right.
Within parameters. You have these things to say. You have the humongous props that you have these really specific props with all three. You know, you have when you're Prudy, you have the purse, up the steps, the purse, the money, the gloves, get the laundry. It's a lot of business, which is really fun because you do the business as somebody who's just hates everything about where they are.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just so much fun.
with the John Waters glasses. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
And so it really just you're there to be one of those adults who doesn't get it and just be as subversive as possible, but still in a very family friendly show.
How'd that happen? How did Hairspray happen?
I had a comedy agent, and I wasn't a stand-up. I got my agent when I was in LA, and because I had brought my solo improv show there. Right. So I was spending some time in LA, and was it
Jolley on the Spot? Was that
Jolley on the Spot?
Yeah, Jolley on the Spot. Yeah.
And it was just the most fun ever. And and so I knew some people, and I was auditioning for things, and but I broke a major rule. I saw in the breakdowns, somehow I had access to these breakdowns, the casting, basically the want-ads that the regular actor, the unrepresented actor is not allowed to see. So I saw them, and they were casting Martin Short's improvised movie, Lala Wood, where he would star as Jiminy Glick. And it was a noir murder mystery starring Jiminy Glick. Jiminy Glick's Lala Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no one loved Jiminy Glick more than me, more than my mom. But I mean, just.
Is that so? Is that so?
The best thing ever. And it was improvised. And I knew that I had to go in for this. I had to be seen for it.
Yeah.
There's a whole reason I'm in LA, which never happens. I got to find a way. So I emailed the casting director. I said, look, here's who I know. Here's what I do. Here's what I've done. It didn't hurt that I had been to Boom Chicago and improvised there with a lot of big people. And, you know, improv wise, I knew all the big people because, you know, I was in a certain circle improv wise. And I said, and if you need to know, I dropped one name of somebody that I knew really well who was a former improv teacher. And she called me, the casting director called me like right away. As soon as I hit send, it was like a few seconds, like, can you come in? Okay. So I came in, brought my stuff. They said, we're really only seeing people with, you know, with agents and celebrities, but we need a reader. Would you want to be a reader all week? So to come in 9 to 5 and improvise read with everybody. Okay. So I got a job out of it as the reader. The reader is the best way in always.
Yeah.
Asked my friend Steve Rosen, who got a career from being the reader at Spamalot, and Mike Nichols loved him and said, why not him? And boom.
That's amazing.
Lovely.
That's amazing. Yeah.
But so I'm there with the director and the producers and the casting director all week, and I'm improvising. So I'm knowing it, and I'm knowing what they're, you know, who's coming in and who's doing well and why. And and so I did get to audition for this movie, but I had to audition at night when I wasn't working. So I could only audition among the celebrities with Martin Short himself, because he wasn't in the auditions that I was doing. This was just so I had to go in, and I stuck out because I was the only non-famous person.
Right.
So wait, who's she?
Who knew what she was doing? Who knew what she was doing? Yeah.
Right. And I kind of feigned it's a different time. I basically pretended that I was missing a limb. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But badly. So I was someone who was pretending to be missing a limb.
Oh, okay.
So badly. Because I know Jiminy Glick so well, I knew that he would just he would stare at it.
So what happened to your arm, lady?
Yeah, the thing you're not supposed to talk about. And you know, you had all of his brother and everybody else in the room going, make her drink the water. And he hands me a bottle of water, and I made him laugh. I broke him. It was so great. And because they had this on tape and it was such a great thing. I didn't get it. Mo Collins got it, but I love her. But
Oh, wow.
the casting director said, what do you want? I said, I want an agent. So she sent my tape around with Martin Short and I got an agent.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like,
That's
what?
amazing.
Sometimes find the rule that's worth breaking and break it. And
Yeah.
so it was because of that agent that I got other stuff when I came back. Oh, and then I went on Hollywood Squares and I won some money. So that enabled me to like do this play of Jeff Whitty's when I came back to New York. Jeff Whitty, book writer, Avenue Q. Tony winner. Yeah, he wrote this play called Punch Project, which is
cool.
Someday we will do a revival. Everybody wants to do it. But yeah, so they got me that audition.
That's amazing.
Hairspray.
Yeah.
And it was just, as soon as they said, you're going in for Hairspray, I said, this is mine to lose. Great. Absolutely mine to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was for a female authority figure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Be the third replacement. So it was Jackie Hoffman, then Julie Halston, and then me. And I mean, and I had 9 days. A replacement only gets 9 days.
Yeah.
From first rehearsal to on stage, 9 days.
Yeah.
So it's a lot, but I knew it, and I knew it was mine to lose.
Yeah.
Or mine to get. It was mine.
And am I right? It was like almost a month. This month, like what was it? 07 you were there?
06.
In 06 in July, right?
July 3rd.
July 3rd. There you go. July 4th
3rd.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody's going to a Broadway show on July 4th.
Everyone's in town, right?
Yeah.
What was that like? Okay, well, going back to when you did the magic show, now being on a Broadway stage.
Show. I saw it.
In the magic show.
Yes, I was saying that.
And now you're on a Broadway stage. What I'm sure the first night was just the best thing in the world.
It was the best thing in the world. It was really, it was so much stress, but my parents were there and, I didn't know my mom was about to get really sick and leave us. This was like the best time ever, because it was really 2 months later that it was so fast. But no, it was the best. It was exactly because it took 16 years of little shows and some TV stuff, which but a lot of improv.
Law and Order, you did Law and Order.
I did Law and Order, and I didn't do Law and Order until after Hairspray because I was pregnant with George.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And what was it like doing 8 shows a week?
It's fine. It was. You just get in this rhythm. You just get. You just know.
You do it. You
what
just
time
do
you have
it.
to leave. Get there. You have your routine. You have your. You fall into it. You just do it. But it's so much fun because especially Hairspray.
Yeah.
You can't forget. You look out there and you can see it's somebody's first show. It's always somebody's first show, and that should energize you. And luckily, playing female authority figure, you get to run through the audience.
Yeah.
And make up a line, because one of the electricians, Tommy Green, good old Tommy Green, he would ask me because I'd have to stand in the back of the house and he'd go, what are you going to say today? I'm like, I don't know. And then I'd run. I don't know until.
And then you would just,
Yeah.
Get
out of my way, but sometimes you would study, who's in that row.
Right.
And see what they're wearing. And like, okay, what can I pick on today? Okay, this will be good. All right.
Yeah.
Great. And you kind of have an idea. But if I think too much, then I'll trip over it.
Mm-hmm.
If I try
and that's why when you're running, then you think of it. Yeah. Yeah.
You just like, please don't let me trip. And you're screaming Penny, please don't let me trip. And you got to get in there and then take the steps up.
Yeah.
I love that part so much. I had to go outside the theater, around back with my dresser, in the rain, in the snow. No matter what, you go outside in costume, in the wig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just passing people like, sorry.
Excuse me, I have an entrance to make.
Yeah. I love what you said that it's people's first time because I think we forget that, and that's a really great thing. I always remember there was Bernadette Peters when she was doing Gypsy, and she said it was like 9 months into the run or something, and she has the Mama Rose moment where she's having the revelation and such, and a woman yelled from the audience like, oh my God, no. And she went, oh right. People don't like, this is people's first time. Like, this is people's
some
first
people
time.
don't have it memorized.
Right. And it's like, yeah, some of us haven't had it memorized since we were in the womb. But
Right.
she went,
oh
my God. And she was like, oh, this is why I'm doing it. She was like, for the person who's like finding it out in real time or watching it for the first time. And and that's just great that you had that too, especially for something like Hairspray, which was such a moving and still moving show. Did you ever meet Marc Shaiman? Did you ever meet any of the creators and Harvey Fierstein and all them?
Yeah. Well, I just went back for Margot Lyon, the big producer, really
just passed away, right?
Yeah, there was her memorial service. So Marc and Scott got all the Hairspray family they could together, and I went up just early March, like right before all this hit, and we performed. It was great. Like, whoever could come back came back, and we did "You Can't Stop the Beat" and "Good Morning Baltimore" on the Haiti set for this service, and it was, and then a big party at Marc Shaiman's house, which was amazing. And you kind of, they really make sure that they know who's representing, who's in the show. They're great. They're just awesome, and everybody was there. Yeah.
What because you've done the newer musicals like Spamalot, Producers and such. Are there still classic Broadway? I mean, do you still look at classic Broadway musicals and go like, I want to do, like, will we have a Lisa Jolley Mama Rose at some point?
I want to do Anyone Can Whistle. I want to do
anyone out there who wants to produce it, please.
I want to do anything. Anyone Can Whistle. It's just the best. No, I mean, everything. There's so much in everything. There's so, like, it's weird. It's a weird time when things are so dated, and so a lot of musicals I would never be cast in anyway. That I love. That my favorites are. I love the 80s. I love Dreamgirls and Big River so much.
Yeah.
I love 1776. I love, and I know them by heart. I could play every role tomorrow. But I really love that. I love Bach and Harnick, anything. I've never done Fiddler on the Roof. Any part in Fiddler on the Roof? Never.
How?
I don't know. I got typed out. There was one production they did, not the Rosie O'Donnell one, the one before that revival on Broadway, and they used to type you out. They used to just put you in a huge line in in 890 or in the Equity Building, second floor, and so yes, no, stay, go, stay, go.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I gotta go for Fiddler. Like, but I'm from there. Like,
you're like but I look like Bette Midler. Come on, like, come on. My whole thing is this. I was.
You never know. You just, but you don't know. I'm like, okay, I'll go to work now. There's some great stuff.
Yeah, and there's just, I mean, and you're right. It's a different time because old musicals are under a lot of scrutiny right now, and a lot of and rightfully so. I mean, we should be looking back and assessing what was popular and what is and what isn't, and should we still be doing these things. But you're right. I hope that things still get produced so that they can be produced, and so we can look at the problems and assess whether it's okay to keep doing things like that or not. Yeah.
I love Shenandoah. How come nobody does Shenandoah? And that could be a very timely thing.
Brigadoon. Yeah, absolutely.
I've done Brigadoon.
Yeah. Right.
Brigadoon is hard.
It's
big.
Hard, and the book is a little wonky.
You need a good Jeff. As long as you have a good Jeff, you can do Brigadoon. You have that good best friend who can also play Charlie Cowell in
Right.
They're on
Well,
the
and
sequel.
even something like I was listening the other day to Finian's Rainbow, and I was like, that as great as it is and relevant still, I think
Yeah.
it's like that's probably not going to get produced anytime
Uh-uh.
soon, but so good,
So good, but
lot
there's some stuff in there.
lot of problems. There are some
Yeah.
problems, but yeah, it's interesting. So let's wrap it up, but I have just a few more questions, and one is that thinking about CCM, thinking about improv, thinking about Broadway, and now you're teaching and you're also a parent. What are some lessons that you've been reflecting on from your time at CCM and improv and Broadway that you're now sort of bringing in to raising George?
Funny you should mention that without even well, I think I'm a mom, but I'm a mom of, I used to say autism mom, but I'm the mom of an autistic person. He is he's just the best, and he's I think being an improviser has really just from the start helped. We have a great connection, and we laugh, and we always have this, this back and forth and this warmth and this understanding. And I think it does come from my yes and, even when all I want to say is, can you just eat this?
Right.
Can we just go? How many times do parents say just, autism or not, but just like, and we have our agendas and we have somewhere to be, and like, stop doing that, we gotta go. It's like, what if I yes anded him?
Yeah.
How would that
or
work?
let's do what I want to do. Like, I'm not going to listen to you. Let's do what I want to do, or
I
what
have
we
an agenda of like, come on, like, well, maybe stop and look at that little piece of rock with him for a bit.
Yeah.
Yes him, and like, yeah, that's really cool. Okay, and then spend some time with it and him, and say, how about we take this, or we look at it next time, and then we go, and then we can go. Okay, you're more likely to have a connection or to get what you need out of it, if you show that you're listening and that you're there. And I think, you're making your partner look good. It's not a mistake that you're shaking your head in Target. If I shake my head too, now we're both doing it. Now it's a dance.
Yeah. Well, and looking at your
this.
partner, I mean, and physically just looking at your partner, like we were talking about with being on stage, it's like, if you're not looking at your partner, you're not going to know what they're giving at all. Yeah.
Oh, I hate to use that. I'm so sorry, but
no,
that stuck out for me like crazy, that moment. And just but just don't say the line just because it's next. That's the main thing. Your character is improvising. Your character doesn't know they're singing.
Did you what was that transition like, going from being an actor to a parent? Yeah.
Well, if you don't work a ton, it doesn't really feel any good.
Yeah.
If you're not like always working, set like,
yeah, right. 8 shows a day.
It's a Tuesday.
Quarantine's going great. Yeah.
It was fine. It was really fine. And at the time we were in this tiny apartment, and I still would go on auditions. I do remember being very pregnant and getting called in for the workshop of Shrek.
Okay. Yeah.
And and I'd tear a room and was like, Lisa, are you pregnant? I was like, yes, I am. Like,
very.
Very. But I won't be forever. I won't be.
Yeah, right.
I won't always be. There will be. It will go down.
Is this a problem for the workshop of Shrek?
And then I'm going for voiceovers. I'm like, please. And the one, and then I got many callbats for the tour of Xanadu. Like,
okay, yeah.
I'm like, and I loved it, and I just, oh man, it was so much fun, and even just the callback process, because there were about, I think there were like 8 of us, so like 4 pairs being considered, and it was really fun. We'd just go in, and we'd still like just be as nuts as possible and sing our faces off. And then like, okay, now we're going to come and roller skate. But I'm a parent now. What if I fall?
Yeah, right.
You know, nobody else had a kid. Nobody else had, and I had a baby. But like, you know, it's, yeah, but not getting that. It's like, okay, well then, you know what? Let's come down to Raleigh and take care of some family on my husband's side. Let's just do that for a little bit. And
yeah, yeah. But you've stayed active as an actress, and you're teaching now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What classes are you teaching?
I am teaching. Well, I teach at Moonlight. I teach musical theater coaching. So I teach a class called Build Your Book. You know, and what should be in your book, what you specifically need in your book, how to physically put together your music, how to notate it, how to practice, how to cut it
out and paste it all together.
Watch me, stay with me, slow down here. Lots of things that people don't necessarily, it's not instinctual. And also, just, you know, let's not go for the riffs right now. Let's sing what's written. Learn the song before the riffs. First learn the song. You might like the song. You might like it as is. But if you've only heard somebody do it like, you don't know what the notes are.
Like, I don't need that. Yeah.
And then for the newly formed Comedy Conservatory with Jairus Donovan, Living Good, we teach about 1 million improv classes a week. Everything, little kids, preteens, teens, adults. I teach musical improv through there with my accompanist in New York. Zoom actually lets me teach with the great Frank Spitznagel.
That's amazing.
So yes, I'm teaching musical improv there too. A lot of improv. So, and it's great. And at Peace, we'll see once we get started again. I teach voice and I'm going to teach improv this semester. So we'll see.
At Peace. That's amazing. Yay. Yeah.
But we'll see if I don't know.
Okay, great. Yeah. Yeah.
Yay.
Whatever happens.
Okay, but I have my virtual backgrounds and I'm good.
Well, thank you for this.
Are we done?
We're almost done. We're going to do the Inside the Actors Studio questionnaire to finish us off. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, Lisa Jolley.
Yes.
What is your favorite word?
Perfunctory.
What is your least favorite word?
I want to say the same thing. Least favorite word? But.
B-U-T.
Yes, B-U-T, Jackson.
Yes. Bathroom, yeah. What turns you on?
Ew, my child is here. Good grammar and talent, thoughtfulness,
together,
critical thinking,
honesty, integrity. Yeah. What turns you off?
Betsy DeVos.
Okay, yeah. Oh no.
sorry, we won't go there.
No. I was like, no. I'm just like, oof.
That
open
kind
wound.
of thinking. That kind of closed-minded.
Yeah.
Closed-minded.
I also love that her real background is a no books bookshelf. That's my favorite thing.
Oh yeah. Come on.
You can put I know. What's your favorite curse word?
I don't like these. I don't talk about razzle frazzle.
Razzle frazzle.
I like a good cartoon curse word. Razzle
Yes,
frazzle. And that's spelled exclamation point asterisk number sign $sign.
Dolphin noise, all that stuff. Yeah. What sound or noise do you love?
My George laughing.
What sound or noise do you hate?
George melting down.
Okay. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Pastry chef.
Ooh, it sounds good.
Yep.
What profession other than your own would you not like to attempt?
A doctor.
And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like God to say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Your mom is right there.
Oh.
I know.
And on that note, thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Oh my God,
This is so fun.
much
This is so great. I could talk to you all day, but thank you
Oh
so
my
much
God,
for this
same.
time. Yeah, this was so much fun. Anything else before we go?
For me?
Rock. Yeah.
Can't think
Party,
of anything. Just
party on Wayne. Yeah,
wear
party
your
on
mask.
Wayne.
Pretty on, Garth. Just wear your mask. Shut up about it. Just wear.
Yeah,
And
just
a
wear a mask. Just wear a mask.
Just do that.
Okay, great.
Fine.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so
Lauren
much.
coming
And
back, or
tell
do we-
George,
is it just us?
do what?
Does Lauren come back, or it's just
No.
we're
I'll
on our
I'll
own?
just end it. I'll just end it.
Okay.
So
I don't know.
okay, all right. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for having
All right.
me.
Of course. Bye.
Leave now. Bye.